Scary stuff caught on camera. Look at this. What could this have been? Guy, who is one very big mountain moving? How? Or creature? How? What are these things? Is this a tree or what's up? Huh? And other mysterious. Oh, some people think those fairy stuff live here. English people, do you think this is true? Hey, look at this tree. It has weird looking roots. Who could have shaped the roots of the tree like this? Hey, these animals and these trees, it's like they are also alive, you see? Some of them just decided to be artistic when growing up. Just like this mangrove circle or bamboo circle here that decided to move as a family. Oh my god. These were trees. All of these are trees. They decided to migrate. Maybe the place they have been living there hasn't been conducive for them. Is this normal? Trees.
When I started looking at money as water, I started making way more. Let me tell you why. The reason we use so many water-related words is because the energetic signature of money and water is synonymous. So we use the words like income stream, cash flow, liquidity, pools, drying up, drowning in debt, pouring water down the drain. Because money and water actually behave in the same way. When you look at water in the world, for example, the ocean has millions and millions of different streams and pools and rivers, all flowing into create a larger body of water. And that's how money must be flowing throughout your life, okay? Because most people, they hoard and they save money, and that's actually out of fear and scarcity. And what happens when money becomes blocked? It stops flowing. It starts attracting mosquitoes. It starts growing fungus. It starts getting murky. And the money eventually becomes blocked and the pool becomes a swamp. And that's how most people treat their money. But if you let money free, if you let money flow, if you create different streams of income and you become the largest pool of money and you let that money flow and move as it must without restrictions, without resistance, you'll see that money will begin flowing throughout your life just like water.
Is the book of Enoch true? No. So therefore don't read it. What's in the Holy Bible is authentic by the church fathers. It took centuries for the Holy Bible to be in this particular order and these certain chapters to be part of the entire Holy Bible. Anything that is not in the Holy Bible, that is not authentic. There are so many books that surfaced up. The Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Peter, and the book of Enoch. And some of them, like, they sound good when you read them. But hey, even in the world, there is a lot of good stories that you hear of. But not every good story is a good story. You need to be very careful. Don't just stay at the surface level. Go to the depth to find out whether it's of good origin or of an evil one. So Book of Enoch is not authentic. My advice to you, there is no need for you to read it. Forget it.
The comments, please. Look at this dog here. It wants to take a bath the road. Oh.
What happens when you sleep? Sweet dreams. The idea is that there are many different levels of things going on while your body is at rest, and we will start at the level of the physical. So, of course, when you are tired, when you go to sleep, on the physical level, you are relaxing the body, de-stressing the body. allowing your mental facility and observations to sort of shut down in the outer direction, turn them inward, so they can allow you to process information from your experiences of the day, to allow you to reorganize your perspective on things, and of course, physiologically, to allow your body to repair, to heal itself in the deep delta sleeps. The idea of the cycles of 3 cycles per second to 7 cycles per second allows your body, allows your chemistry, allows your cellular nature to, again, regenerate, revitalize by tapping into deep reservoirs, deep reserves of energy, allowing the energy to build back up to a certain level. The idea, again, is this can be very healing, can allow things to come back into alignment on a cellular, atomic, and subatomic level by relaxing all of the output that you experience on your daily waking regimen. So physiologically, as you all know, it is very healthy, very aligning to relax, to rest, to de-stress, to give the body a chance to go back to its natural state as much as possible, and then to feel revitalized when you wake up in the morning. Now, on the astral level and on the mental level, you have the opportunity, as I said, to sort of re-look at everything that happened in the day, reorganize your thoughts, allow yourself to learn lessons, allow yourself to extract information from your experiences of the day, and on a broader level, from the mental reaching into the astral, allowing you to start recognizing connections to other things, how everything is interrelated in the experiences you've been having, to give you some insights into how you may be able to move forward in physical life, having more awareness and more understanding of associations and relationships between different events. This happens on that high mental, lower astral level as you are resting, as you are recuperating, as you are energizing. But then on the higher astral, there are many different things that are going on while you are asleep. Again, all these things may be going on because everything exists at once, but you, from a linear perspective, will not necessarily experience doing the same thing every single night. Again, it depends on what it is you need to do that night. You may spend the entire night in a class. Now, when I say the entire night, I mean relatively speaking, because time on the spirit level is not what it is in physical reality. So it may seem like a blip relative to your physical sense of time, but it will unspool in your memory when you wake up as the dream that seems to take all night. So remember that when you wake up and you remember a dream, what you are doing is allowing your physical mind to construct its interpretation of the experience that you had using the props and symbols that it is familiar with, at least to the best that it can. So the idea is that what may seem to be a dream that lasted all night may actually only have been constructed in the last few seconds before you woke up. But it will seem to represent something that seemed to happen relative to physical time and spirit time to have happened or taken all night, because you're used to classes taking a long time in your reality, even though it may not have taken that much time in terms of spirit time.
Look at this. In some place, lightning descended. Wah! It's not just lightning. Looks like there is a creature there that is being attacked by lightning. Which is this true?
Like here, there's class systems. Some there's poor people, there's rich people, there's
No,
middle class.
we don't have that.
And so people can just really do what they want to do.
Yes, the entire civilization is completely run and organized by synchronicity. People are where they need to be, when they need to be there, with whom they need to be, to learn what they need to learn, to get what they need to get. It works automatically because we all operate that way.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, here it seems like people are struggling to do
Yes.
the job they want to do.
Because they're not being themselves.
Right.
When you are more yourselves, synchronicity will take over. It's automatic. It's an automatic, self-perpetuating guiding mechanism. This is one of the things that we're sharing with you. That's how it works. Let it work. You don't have to make it work. The fact that it's not working is because you're trying to make it work. Just let it work by being yourself and let the current carry you along. The actions that you do will then be effortless. You will take the actions, but you'll be riding the current, riding the wave. You will not be expending energy, but gathering energy, increasing your energy as you ride the current and do the things and take the actions that are natural for you by being in the natural flow with the eddies and currents of creation. You ride the wave. So our civilization, we all ride the wave. It's that simple.
And does that mean, too, so if you live about 300 years, if someone passes away, are you not as devastated as we are in humans because you know you're riding the wave and everything's it's a different
Well,
thing?
yes, and we're also not devastated because we don't lose contact with them. They've just shifted into another state that we can still communicate with.
Okay, awesome.
And so can you. So stop creating those divisions in your definitions, those ideas as if they are actually barriers. Every single non-physical being and every other being in creation is about this far away from you in frequency.
Does this gargoyle look familiar to you? In August of 2013, a picture taken at Paisley Abbey caused something of a stir on social media. It seemed someone visiting the abbey, which dates from the 12th century, paying particularly close attention to its finely carved gargoyles, had noticed one which stood out from the rest. With a distinct domed head and jagged teeth, it bore a striking resemblance to the iconic xenomorph from the hit Alien franchise. As many people will know, the design of the alien, which has tormented Sigourney Weaver and many others across 8 films since 1979, with a 9th due out soon, is credited to Swiss artist H.R. Giger. So what was his creation doing leering from the wall of an 800-year-old abbey in Scotland? Had an uncredited stonemason all those centuries ago anticipated his design? Had he, in fact, ripped it off? No, is the short answer. Journalists who spoke to the local minister learned that the building's original gargoyles had been replaced during a refurbishment in the 1990s. Sculptor David Lindsay was hired to supply 12 new gargoyles. Medieval tradition dictates that no two can look the same, and he was specifically asked for contemporary designs. And it just so happened he was a huge fan of Alien. Well, who wouldn't be? So among the 20 or so sketches he submitted for consideration, he included one paying homage to his favourite movie monster, never expecting it to be approved. But approved it was. And soon it had been sculpted and was perched above the abbey's arched windows, blending in quite nicely among the Gothic spires and steeples, failing to draw any attention until the advent of social media. Today, the gargoyle has become something of a minor tourist attraction, drawing a whole new crowd to Paisley to see the alien with their own eyes.
There are actually no books, no techniques, nothing you need to learn. The big joke is that there's only one thing you need to know about this reality. And it's not, well, every book, every guru, every spiritual book, every New Age book, even the religions, the Bible, they say one thing only, is that you are the truth. You are the way. So whatever you say goes in this reality. Why? Because you are the creator. And there's truly nothing outside of that. You are creating your own dream reality. You are projecting people outside of you in the shape of physical avatars to reflect to you something that you believe about yourself. Everything is a mirror. Anything that you believe comes from within, and there actually are no rules. So any book you pick up is all a book full of rules that you supposedly need to follow to get a certain circumstance or to control physical reality. There is no control here. You don't control physical reality in the circumstances. You never control that. The only control there is truly within, because that's the source of everything. You're the source. You're the cause of everything. Once you realize you are the god or goddess of your personal reality, it's game over. It's a done deal. There's nothing beyond that. You know, you see through the game, the trick. You know you are the source of everything, which means you don't need anything external anymore. You are completely free and independent of anyone's validation, any human needs, any approval. Why? Because anything that you truly need, you will provide for yourself. May it be in love, validation, permission, approval, abundance, health, wealth, anything. Because why? You are the source, and you validate yourself. You give yourself the love. You give yourself the abundance, because giving is a proof of having. And when you give, you affirm that you are whole and complete, and you are aligned with the truth of who you are. You are the truth and the way. It's very simple. It's very simple. Be still and know you are infinite, and you create everything.
No, watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck out. What the fuck?
Here is something simple that many Christians do not know. 3 simple scriptures that gets God's help. Number 1, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 31 says, whatever you do, whatever you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do all to the glory and to the honor of God. In other words, don't do whatever you do to impress people. Don't do whatever you do to draw attention to yourself. But whatever you do, endeavor to honor God in it. Number 2, Colossians 3 verse 23 and 24 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord, not as unto man. Do it from your heart as unto the Lord, not as unto man, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance. In other words, when you do whatever you do to whoever, it might be an ungodly boss, it might be somebody totally undeserving, but if you do it as if you're doing it as unto the Lord receives it, and there is a reward that comes your way. So that everything you do, every act, becomes a seed that you sow for which you can get a reward. Now, you're not doing it for reward, but that is the truth of the matter. You're simply doing it as unto the Lord from your heart. And then the third one is simply this. Colossians 3 verse 17 says, whatever you do, do all in the name of Jesus. What does that mean? Do it in the authority of Jesus' name. Do it with his name. Do it as if you were him, in the person of Christ. And do it with thanksgiving. All right? Get a hold of that. Now, as you do those things, whatever you do, you are in a place where you're cooperating with God, where your heart is right, where your motive is right, and God is able to respond and cooperate with you and show himself strong on your behalf. Amen? Now that's simple, but it's powerful. Until we meet in the next post, stay strong and stay blessed.
People have stated that they feel certain energies that are blocking them. Certain kinds of energies or forces that are preventing them from doing this or doing that. Sometimes even talking about the idea of external forces and external energies that don't allow them to do one thing or another, or are allowing them to feel that they are being controlled by some other kind of force or energy from somewhere. The first thing that is very important to understand in this concept that we are sharing with you today is that anything that you experience internally is your energy, no one else's. It cannot be any other way. You have your energy, and everything you experience in life is made of your energy, is happening in your energy. Now, this doesn't mean that there can't be other beings that you may be interacting with or aligning with that have their own energy and maybe have their own agendas and maybe have their own intentions. Whether they be beings that are human or non-human isn't the point. The point is that no matter what anyone else's agenda may be or intention toward you may be, the only way you can experience it is by matching the vibration with your own energy and thus creating a representation of what it is they may be attempting to pass along to you. But you're creating that experience, that internal experience of what you call their energy out of your own energy, because that's the only thing you have to work with, is you.
What is this thing? Oh my god. Oh, looks like a flying piece of metal that just disappeared. Hi. How is this possible? Some of these things make me doubt my eyes a little bit for some moment. Because now like this one, what could it be? Yeah? Oh my god, it's weird stuff. Very, very weird and unbelievable stuff, you see? But you, my friends, leave your comments of what could this be. Very bizarre. Do you think there are creatures in there? Hey. If there are creatures in there, how do they stay? Oh, this is very weird. Oh, this is just other government stuff, you see? Because planes don't look like this. Unless English people, you have new designs for planes. Myself, I've never seen one that looks that. Stunning sight.
Whoa. Whoa.
Look at this octopus here. Oh my god. It is changing color. Is this a normal thing for octopuses? They camouflage. Oh man.
That is probably the most unique creature on planet Earth. Meet the echidna. It's like a hedgehog with a bird's beak, with an anteater's tongue, and a kangaroo's pouch. Yes, they have a little pouch where they carry their babies. They also lay eggs. It's a mammal. They also have venom glands, which is weird for a mammal. But the venom glands don't work. They lost their venom through history. Their main food source is ants and termites, which they gobble up with that ridiculous tongue. And I don't know where the food goes, because they also don't have a stomach. Oh yeah, their milk is pink, but it doesn't come from nipples, because they don't have any of those either. Instead, it secretes from that little kangaroo pouch. Gross. Oh, I almost forgot. They also have electroreceptors in their beak, so they can literally connect to the electromagnetic field to find anthills. At this point, Arthur's glasses staying on his face makes more sense than an echidna's biology. Moral of the story, if you're ever feeling out of place like you don't belong, just remember, echidnas exist. And as always, follow for more facts.
Hi guys, I really don't know how to start this video, but I'm just gonna make a swing at it, right? The world is upside down. Quite literally. Okay, actually more figuratively. The world is upside down. Everything that you think you know or understand about the world, especially if you're basing it on Western education, is upside down. See, there is a creator of this earth who created us and created everything that we need. And everything we need comes from the earth, right? Our food grows from gardens. Our water flows abundantly. The animals, they roam and reproduce for free. Other entities had a different plan and different vision for how the world should be. And that is the world that we seem to be living in now. See, the reason we're dealing with a mental health epidemic, why most of us have either been depressed or are depressed, is because we're living in this upside down paradigm. There's a part of ourselves that knows that the world shouldn't be like this. There's a part of ourselves that knows that we should not be constantly living in anxiety. There's a part of ourselves that knows that we should not constantly be feeling small, or constantly feeling inferior, or constantly in fight or flight mode. Our bodies know that something is wrong. Our hearts know that something is wrong. But it's our minds that have been captured. These others did something really amazing because they were able to, while they used to tie people with chains in the past, they realized that the mind is the most powerful thing. If you tie someone's mind, they will never even know that they're chained. So that's exactly what they did. They gave us their version of history, their version of how things work. Most of what we think we know, we've been told by those who now run the world. And if they ran the world effectively and efficiently and the way the creator would have liked the world to be run, I think there would be higher levels of happiness in the world. A lot less bloodshed, a lot less exploitation, a lot less of all the horrendousness that we live under. But see, because they have tied our mind through education and religion, most of us don't realize what's going on. This is the hard part for people to understand. We worship money. I am not saying you must hate money. My work is of consciousness. It's to hopefully jolt you to seeing the world and the offness, koninte off in the world. I would like to jolt you into seeing that. We now worship money. We have strayed from the way of our creator who said, I will grow that plant, that vegetable, that fruit, and you will just pick it and eat. And we think, I need to give away my life at a job to eat. We've stopped realizing that, hey, water comes from the river or a stream or a spring that just pops up. And we believe we have to buy water. What they have done is they've idolized money. And we now subconsciously worship money. Again, I'm not saying you must idealize poverty or worship poverty. But when I went hard for Onezwa, it's because she's living that life that is aligned with the creator. And the reaction, the discourse that we've had shows our worship for people who live a life aligned with the other people. The reason you feel like a corporate slave is because you are a slave. And because capitalism is so well orchestrated, I now call it umaluma pepete. It bites you and then it goes, then you forget that you're being bitten. You forget that your soul is being gnawed at. Because it comes with these material comforts that briefly make you forget that something is very off with this world. I'm going to attach a video. Please go watch a video by a creator called Melo, if you haven't already, that kind of discusses this in more detail. I'm just coming with the more, I would say, spiritual perspective, but Melo drives into the nitty-gritties of how it actually unfolds in real life, on the ground, particularly in South Africa. Oh, and I forgot to add, and those people who run the earth from the top, they have a pattern of destroying nature because they know that nature is our refuge. They know that if we really get back in touch with nature, we might really get back in touch with the Creator, and their system could fall apart.
Fred, thank you very much for watching All This Way. I've been your host, Y311H, and I'm really glad for all the comments you have left there. We might be reading them in the next episode.